Hello FlossTube, my name is Jill. Welcome to my channel. I'm here on YouTube at iGoodya Stitcher, and you can find me over on Instagram at iGoodya. I stumbled upon FlossTube last fall and was just so excited to find out that there's a whole community out there of people who love to cross stitch and talk about their projects and share what they're working on. And I knew right away that I needed to be a part of that community and make FlossTube videos. So here I am. I'm excited to share my projects with you and talk about cross stitching. A little bit before I get started, I am married. I have 4 kids, 3 girls and 1 boy. They range in age between 16 and 8. We also have a dog named Cosette. She's a Cavalier King Charles Spaniel. And we have a cat named Petra. You may see Petra in some of my videos. She likes to be wherever it is most inconvenient for her to be. So she will probably be right up here as often as I'll let her. I have been stitching for probably almost 30 years. I think I started when I was a teenager, and I've had times when I was stitching a lot. I have had times, mostly when my kids were little, that I wasn't getting very much stitching in, but it has been something I have loved and has been relaxing and enjoyable for me for the majority of my life. I like to stitch a wide variety of things. I like samplers. I really like Halloween and Christmas stitching, although I usually kind of do that seasonally. I like Disney stuff. I'm a little bit of a nerd. I like Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter and Doctor Who. So you'll see a lot of different things reflected in my stitching projects that I choose to do. Other than stitching, I also like to quilt. I do just regular piecing and English paper piecing. I've done a little bit of foundational paper piecing. So I may occasionally show a quilt project on this channel as well, but not very often because I don't finish them very often. Every once in a while I may show a finish because it's a big deal if I actually finish a quilt. I also like to crochet. I do blankets, I do amigurumi. I try to squeeze that in whenever I get a chance. But my main type of sewing that I do is cross stitch. I like to play the piano. I like to read, so I may occasionally talk about books I'm reading while I am on my channel. I like to listen to audiobooks while I'm stitching, so that may come up occasionally as well. I think that's about it for me, so I'm just gonna jump in and start showing some of the whips that I have been working on. This is pretty much what I've been doing since the beginning of January, when I put my Christmas sewing away and pulled out some of the stuff from last year and then started some new stuff. So I will start with my current long dog sampler. I think I am always working on a long dog sampler. I love them so much. As soon as I finish one, I pull out another one and start it. So my current one is called You Belong to Me. Get that right up where you can see it. When this pattern was released, it jumped to the very top of my list of long dogs that I wanted to work on. I've always loved Egypt, and back in 2018, my husband and I were able to take a trip to Egypt, and we spent 10 amazing days cruising up the Nile and stopping at all of the amazing sites. So I wanted to make this as kind of a way to remember that trip. So here's how far I am on it. See if you can see it. I'm probably a little over halfway through. Pretty close to that. I'm stitching this on 32 count flax, 32 count linen in flax. And I'm using DMC 930, which is kind of a dusty dark blue color. And I'm loving how it's turning out. I can't wait to finish that one. I'm pretty sure this will be a finish this year, but not anytime soon. Later this year maybe. And then I'll start another long dog because I just can't help myself. All right, my next one is a stitch along. I don't usually do stitch alongs, and I am doing 2 right now. So this is a little unusual for me. I'm not really great about keeping up with them because I kind of just stitch whatever I feel like, and if I don't feel like doing it, then I don't. But I'm doing 2 right now. The first one I don't actually have a full picture of, I don't think. This is, I found this, this account on Instagram. It's Stitching Book Club, and she puts out a pattern where she breaks it up into weekly sections that you stitch a certain part of the chart and you read chapters of a certain book to go along with it. And when you're done, you have read a book and you have a cross stitch that matches it. So this is the first one I've done of hers, and it is Jane Eyre, which is one of my favorite books. I love this book. I've read it numerous times. I was planning on reading it while I stitch it this time, and it has just gotten away from me. So I'm stitching, and the more I stitch it, the more I think I really, really need to read this book again. So this is how far I am. Jane Eyre, it says Charlotte Bronte at the top, and it shows some of the houses that she lives in throughout the book. Down along the bottom it will say, I would always rather be happy than dignified, which is a quote from the book. And the rest will get filled in later. There's a border around it. We've got Mr. Rochester and his profile over here on this side, and then Jane's profile will go over on the other side. This is stitching up so pretty, and I love that it's broken up into weekly sections because it's small enough that I can do it in a week, and if I fall behind, I can catch up in just a day or two. Usually the weekly stitching only takes me a couple days. So I feel like I can still accomplish a lot of other things while I'm working on this stitch along. So anyway, that is Stitching Book Club. She has also done A Christmas Carol and Sense and Sensibility and Narnia. I know she's done a few others, and they're all beautiful. I'm probably gonna go back and do some of her other ones at some point, but I need to finish Jane first. All right, my other stitch along that I'm doing is the Sunnyside Sampler from the Drawn Thread. This was started, I'll show you a picture. Can I just say how much I love stitching houses? Look how cute they are. Any houses. I'm kind of a sucker for houses, which is a problem because do you know how many cross stitch patterns have houses on them? Like all of them. I need to stitch them all. Anyway, this pattern was started by some of the ladies that attended Stitch West last fall. I desperately wanted to be there, but I couldn't be there. I was there in spirit, and I am stitching with them. They started it in October. The plan was to finish it before Stitch West this year, so I'm joining in and hoping to have it done by the time Stitch West comes around in October of this year. So this is how far I am. Colette Kingsley, the Highway Stitcher, broke this pattern down into sections so that each month there's like a certain section that you work on in order to get it done in a year. I am behind because I didn't start it in October when everyone else did. I started it in January, and I'm going a little slower. That's okay. My goal is just to finish it before October. This is the first time I have done 1/1 on these little tiny letters right there. You can see it. Those are 1/1. I've never done that before. It's fun for a little bit. I don't know if I could do a whole sampler like that. Holy cow. I was feeling like I was going cross-eyed towards the end, but it's an interesting experience. So I ordered this whole thing as a kit directly from the Drawn Thread. So it comes with everything I need. I think it's 32 count linen, natural linen, and it uses needlepoint silk and dinky dyes. Yes, that's right. So that is what I am doing on that. My goal is to have it finished by October. Shouldn't be too hard. It's got little houses all over it, and I love little houses. So there we go. All right, my next whip. I don't have a picture for this one either. This is by, it's SA Stitch or SA Patterns on Etsy. I will put a link to her Etsy account on my description box. She has so many cute patterns. A whole series of gnomes that I just want to stitch them all. They're all so much fun. But she has this series that's cute little animals in winter clothes. And I had the hardest time picking which ones to buy. I think I got like 6 of them. And then I had a hard time picking which one to start with. So this is my winter kitty that I am working on. Oh, you guys, she doesn't even have a head yet. She's so cute. Look how cute that is. Look at her little scarf. Little hearts on it. Actually, I think they're hearts. My 8-year-old says they are mice. So what do you think? Hearts or mice? Either way, so cute. Look at her little booties. Ah, they are so darling. This has a lot of back stitching, which is like my nemesis. I really don't like to back stitch, but this was just so cute. I couldn't resist. I decided I would do it even with all the back stitching. And I have finished the stitching on the little shawl that it's wearing. All of that is done. I'm working on the body now. And then when I finish that back stitching, I will move up and work on the head and be done with it. I can't wait to finish this one. I love the process of stitching, but this is one that I'm eager to have it finished just because it's so cute. I can't wait to see it finished. And it's just little tiny stitch. So that's gonna be so much fun. And I don't remember what I'm stitching this on. I will have to look that up. I'll tell you in the next video. Anyway, cute little winter kitty. I am having so much fun doing that. All right, my last whip that I'm working on is called Small World. You guys, I had a really hard time. I try to purchase from Etsy sellers that I know have the permission of an artist to use their work. And I don't know about this one. I purchased it years ago. It was probably at least 5 or 6 years ago from an Etsy seller. And when I went to start working on it a couple weeks ago, I realized that I had no information. Like the charts, the pattern don't say anything about an artist or even where I purchased it from, like the name of the shop I purchased it from, which kind of makes me think that it was not a legit pattern, that whoever charted it up did it just without permission. I went back and looked at the shop and they are closed. The whole Etsy shop is closed, so I'm thinking they were shut down. But I couldn't find any information about who like the actual artist is or if it really was taken from something else. So I don't know. I'm gonna stitch it just because it's just for my own personal enjoyment, and I'm not selling it, I'm not hanging it, or I'm not doing anything with it other than hanging it on my wall. So, and I don't have a picture of what it's going to look like when it's finished either. So this is just my work on this chart. It's called Small World and very reminiscent of Mary Blair and her artwork on the Small World ride at Disneyland. So this is just a little piece of it. I'm currently working on filling in the moon right here. And I haven't done any back stitching yet, so you can't see their cute little faces very well. But I love this pattern. I love the bright colors and the geometric shapes, and I'm just having so much fun stitching on it. It's gonna be a little bit bigger. You can kind of see how big my fabric is. So I am stitching this on, it's 32 count white opalescent Lugana. So I don't know if you can see it in the video, but this fabric has a sparkle to it. It's just not gonna come through at all. Oh, you can kind of see it shimmering just a little bit. It is so pretty, so much fun to stitch on. I wasn't sure when I first got it if it was gonna make it difficult to stitch it with all the shiny, if that would make it harder to see, but it hasn't been a problem at all. It's been really easy to stitch with and so much fun to have that little sparkle as I'm working on it. So I am loving this one, and I'm excited to have it finished and hang it up somewhere in my craft room. So that is the whips that I am currently working on. I probably have maybe 3 or 4 others that I started last year, and I haven't picked them up again yet this year. So I will show those once I get around to stitching on them again this year. And I also have a lot of kits waiting for me to start them. So I'm always eager to start something new. It's my favorite part of stitching, is just starting out on a new blank canvas and putting those first few X's in. So much fun. All right, let's move on, and I will show you my haul, I guess we'll call it, stash supplementation. These are just some of the things I've gotten probably since January. Let's see. Oh, I should have opened this first. I'm trying to find where to open the bag. Sorry for the twinkles. This is my fabric of the month from Be Stitch Me. This is a 36 count linen, and the color is Hot Cocoa. This is so pretty. I don't know what I'm gonna put on it, but I can't wait to put something on it. And it's not quite as dark as it's coming through on the video, but it's just a really pretty, oh, that's pretty close to what it really is, Hot Cocoa. So that's gonna be really fun to stitch on. And then I have a couple patterns that I got from 123 Stitch. I was on their website because my local needlework shop didn't have a couple of the fancy flosses that I needed for a pattern. So I hopped on there to order them, and it seemed silly to check out with like $7 worth of floss. I decided I needed something else to go with it. Plus then you have something to look forward to besides floss. So I just hopped on my wish list, which is an ever-growing list of things that I want from 123 Stitch, and was browsing it, and this pattern was on sale, and it's been on my list for a while, so I just had to get it. This is Plum Street Samplers This Happy Morning. It's a Christmas pattern, so I'm probably not going to get to it for quite a while, but now I have the pattern and also all of the floss to go with it. I love that little button that they have that you just click add all to cart, and it adds everything you need for the pattern. Although this one did not have the fabric. It's the recommended, or the fabric that they used was a Fox and Rabbit fabric that is still on order. It's an upcoming release, so they don't have it in yet. So I don't know if I'm going to wait for that to be released, or if I will just end up picking something else to do it on, but I will probably not work on it for quite a while. Maybe Christmas in July. I might wait until November. So I have some time to wait for it. And then while I was on 123 Stitch, I found this pattern as well. I love by the Bay needle art. Everything they do is beautiful. I have never lived by a bay in my life. So I usually live in the desert, but I love all of their patterns. This is I Am a Needlesmith. Oh, I love those colors. It is all so pretty. Get it up there. So I ordered that as well. It's just DMC floss. And they just used a 32 count even weave in antique white, which I have plenty of that. That's one of my favorite things to stitch on. It's just a nice antique white. So I'm excited to start that one too. And then I also ordered a hoop from 123 Stitch. These are my favorite hoops. The brand is Morgan. Let me see if I still have their, this is the tag from the hoop. They are just wonderful. They have like a, if I can show it in here. I just got this one, so it's still really stiff. They have like a ridge on the inside of the hoop, and then it fits into this inner hoop. So it holds the fabric really tight. And I like to have a nice tight fabric while I'm stitching. So I love to buy these hoops. They sell them at 123 Stitch. They sell them at Hobby Lobby as well. That's the only place locally that I've been able to find them. And even Hobby Lobby doesn't always seem to have them in stock. So if you find one, definitely give them a try. They are Morgan hoops and I love them. I wish I had 20 of them. Okay, I also recently picked up, this is an older cross stitch book. It's by Ondori. I think it was actually published back in the 70s. Copyright 1975. It's got some really cute patterns in it though. Let me see if I can find some pictures without charts. Some really pretty flowers. These are very reminiscent to me of some of the designs that Satsuma Street does. I love her patterns. She's one of my favorite designers. And look how cute those are. Little birds. I love bright colors in my cross stitches. And Satsuma Street is so good at the colors. Anyway, this is the publisher. I don't know who the publisher is, but it's Ondori, O-N-D-O-R-I. There's a few books like this out there, and they are all so cute. So I'm excited to just kind of play around with some of these patterns and stitch them up. And I found this book on a website. I think it's called thriftbooks.com. It was cheap. The shipping was cheap. It was fast. So I'm excited to give them a try. All right, I have a couple patterns that I purchased on Etsy that I just couldn't resist. The first one is a fox and rabbit design. I believe I was watching a YouTube video where someone was talking about this pattern. I think it was Kansas City Girl in a Colorado World was talking about this fox and rabbit design. It's called Mary Morgan's. And it is just, the colors are so beautiful. Bright, vibrant, which is a little unusual for a sampler, but I love these colors. I think they're just DMC colors as well, which makes it easy. So this is high on my list of charts that I want to kit up and get stitching on. It's a long list, but it's high on the list. The other one that I got, you guys, I just recently found this designer. I don't know where I've been, living under a rock or something. I'm sure I came across her before, but I don't know, it didn't click. Her name is Moira Blackburn, and her samplers are all so cute. So this is called the Scottish Love Sampler. I feel like the picture is not really great on this one, but I think the sampler is going to be beautiful when it gets stitched up. It has a quote on the front that says, "And I will love thee still," which is a quote from a poem by Robert Burns. who was a Scottish poet. My husband and I went to Scotland this past year. We both have Scottish ancestors and we really wanted to go there, and we both completely fell in love with Scotland. I would move there in a heartbeat if it were slightly more convenient for us to pick up and move a family of 6 to Scotland. Anyway, I found this sampler and I'm gonna stitch it up and hang it on a wall somewhere. I also ordered 2 or 3 other samplers by Moira Blackburn and they have not come yet. So hopefully by the next video I will have some more of her samplers to show you. My last purchases, these were all from Top Knot Stitcher. She had the whole set. I'm gonna not say this right, but I'll take this one out and show you. The Christkindl market, which is a German Christmas market. This is they're by Pickle Barrel Designs. This is the first part of the chart. It kind of is at the top of the pattern, and then there are 6 other parts that go with it that are underneath, and it's just all of these cute little markets that you find in the German Christmas markets. Let's see if I can get these without taking them out of the packages. The glass stand, oh, so much glare. And the ornament stand. Oh dear, gotta do it at an angle here. We have the patisserie stand. I would love to go to these German Christmas markets some year. It's on my bucket list. Hot cider stand. The pretzel stand. So cute. And the hot nut stand. And then these all go, oh, there's a picture on the back, see if we can show that without a glare. You can see the first part up at the top and then the other parts go underneath it. So those are also on my to be stitched before Christmas, or maybe during Christmas. It might be a couple years, but I love these. So I'm gonna stitch all of those up. And then I have Autumn Town by Autumn Lane Stitchery. This one I have been eyeballing for quite a long time. I love the colors in it. I just love the colors of autumn. So I'm gonna stitch this one up as soon as it starts to feel like I should be stitching for fall. And then I also got this book. It's Fables and Fairy Tales to Cross Stitch. These are so cute. I love them all. This whole book is just darling. But I'm a big fan of fairy tales. So see if I can show you some of these without showing the actual chart. We've got Hansel and Gretel here. Love that one. Some of them are a little tricky to try to show you. The Princess and the Pea, I think maybe the first one I do from this book. Look how cute that is. Oh my goodness. I love it. There's a whole bunch of little like nursery rhymes and songs. Oh, I just want to stitch them all. Look at this cute one on the cover of Peter and the Wolf. So they're all fairly small, easy peasy. I could do them in, I don't know, not very much time. I just have to pick which one to start with and find a time to do it. So I think that's about it. I don't know. I'm gonna try to finish at least one of my whips before I start another project. Don't hold me to that. It might not happen. But I'm close on a couple of them. My Winter Kitty shouldn't take me that long to finish. And Jane Eyre also stitches up really quickly, and she released the whole pattern at the beginning of the stitch along. So if I want, I can get ahead a little bit. I think it's supposed to end in March, but if I really want to, I could finish it before March. So I think that's about it. I will hopefully have some finishes to show you in my next video and some new starts. I just want to say thank you for sticking it out for my whole video. Thank you for being a part of this amazing cross-stitch community and for supporting me. And if you liked my video, you can subscribe and like and comment. And that's about it. Thanks for visiting with me, and I'll see you later.